Hello everyone. Before I start, I'd like you to look around your room. Can you count how many things are made of plastics? Probably more than 10. Do you know we have more than 5.25 trillion macro and micro pieces of plastics in our ocean and 46,000 pieces in every square mile of ocean, weighing up to 269,000 tons? To provide a concrete solution to the microplastic problem, I would like to introduce you to the membrane bioreactor technology. Before I go into the technology, let me give you some background information about this problem. Microplastics is a very small particle of plastic materials that are typically smaller than 5 millimeters. Nanoplastics are usually smaller than 0.1 micrometers. In comparison, the diameter of human hair is around 20 to 40 micrometers. Don't be deceived by the small size of these plastics. According to the US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, microplastics less than 5 millimeters long can already be harmful to marine and freshwater organisms. Microplastics can be classified into primary and secondary microplastics. Primary microplastics are produced by the unintentional discharge of transitional plastic feedstock. They are micro-sized synthetic polymers and used as exfoliates of various processes, as well as microfibers shed from clothing and other textiles, such as fishing nets. Microbeads are another type of primary plastics that are used in cosmetic and healthcare products, such as exfoliating beads in facial or body scrubs, or as glitter in makeups. Secondary microplastics are fragments which are produced by fermentation of larger plastic trash. They are the fragmented product of macroplastics and mostly generated under the effects of various environmental processes, such as biodegradation, photodegradation, and hydrolysis. There are 4 characteristics of microplastics. First, they have large surface to volume ratio, which make them to have potential implications for the bioamplifications and bioaccumulations of various chemicals and pollutants. And these enhance the absorption of pollutants from the water. Next, they have different shapes, size, and density, so plastic fragments have distributed in different compartments of the marine ecosystem and are available for the marine biota. After that, they have different settling rates over the water column, which makes it hard to track their location. And finally, they have high buoyancy and extreme durability, resulting in their capability of accumulating in rivers, lakes, and the marine environments all over the world. Then you may want to ask, why do we need to be aware of the microplastic problem? This is because the microplastic problem is alarming and is a widespread issue. There might be as many as 15 trillion particles of microplastic in the world's ocean. These plastic fragments of pollution, which is more than 5 millimeters in diameter, have been found in 16 out of 17 brands of sea salts, 4 out of 5 samples of drinking water, and 80% of British mussels. Once released to the environment, they may be frequently eaten and accumulated by animals such as fish and shellfishes, consequently eaten as food by consumers. According to research done by WWF, an average person could be ingesting an amount of microplastic equivalent to 1 credit card in every week. To marine animals, the effect could be disastrous. Reproduction in marine animals is affected by exposure to polystyrene microplastics. Ingestion of PE causes endocrine disruption in adult freshwater fish. These small particles can physically block or reduce the functionality of vital organs. In a mussel, microplastic particles can stick to their feeding filtration organs, and in fish, to their gills or inside their digestive system. This can have devastating impacts on marine wildlife, preventing organisms from catching or digesting food, including stress and even prevent them from breathing properly. For humans, the impact is still unknown because researchers lack analytical methods to identify nanoplastics in food. They don't have any data on their occurrence or absorption by humans. However, what we don't know can actually hurt us. According to the One Health approach, the health of all living things, including humans, animals, and plants, and everything that surrounds us are interconnected. If something is wrong with the animals and plants around us, then something is likely to go wrong with us unless we do something about it. We need to solve the problem at exactly where it starts. According to research, wastewater treatment plants are reported as the main source of microplastic and nanoplastics in the effluents, since they are not properly designed for this purpose. To solve the problem, we need the membrane bioreactor technology. What is it? The Envr technology is generally a term used to define wastewater treatment process where a perm-selective membrane, such as microfiltration or ultrafiltration, is integrated with a biological process to provide an advanced level of organic and suspended solids removal. It is capable of filtering down to 0.2 micrometers. So, membrane bioreactor is a future-proof solution for treatment of both municipal and industrial wastewater. Then, how does this technology work? Let me explain it to you regarding to the photo showing here. In the treatment plants, there is a process tank with an anaerobic and anaerobic zone. Wastewater is fed to the tank via fine screen with normally 1 to 2 millimeter rating. Next, sludge produced from tank is directed to the membrane tank that is fitted with a membrane, which allows ultrafiltration to happen. Permeate is then extracted from this tank. At the same time, sludge produced from this tank is directed back to the anaerobic zone of the process tank. At the bottom, there are two blowers associated with this process. The process blower that produces fine bubbles diffuses diffuse air to the aerobic zone of the process tank. The other blowers that produce coarse bubbles which scour the membrane in the membrane tank. Finally, waste will be discharged from the process tank in order to maintain the solids concentration at an appropriate level. There are three features of the MBL technology. First, they have minimized power consumption. Operating with gravity, you can take away permeate pumps for the production of clean water from the MBR module. The design makes it easy to turn on and off operations and allows you to run the MBR membrane modules without alternative aeration. The only energy required is for air scouring. Next, the technology is designed with reduced cleaning needs. With the ultra-low transambient pressure, there's no power fouling, but only easily removed surface fouling. Also, there are more even pressure distribution over the membrane, which improves capacity and reduces cleaning needs. The third feature is it has maximized capacity. MBR filters can run on gravity within just 1 meter of water above the module, making it impossible to maximize capacity in the tank without having to use pumps. Talking about the expected results, studies support previous studies showing that the MBR process is an efficient way of removing microplastics. No microplastic particles have yet been found in the wastewater treated by the pilot plants, with analysis so far down to 50 micrometer. It confirms that MBR technology remains more microplastic than conventional technologies. So this technology is capable of solving the microplastic problem technically from the origin. There are two main benefits that makes the technology remarkable and irreplaceable. MBR technology can reduce footprints as it usually is usually 30 to 50% smaller than an equivalent conventional active sludge facility with secondary clarifiers and mid-layer tertiary filtration. Also, with MBR technology, we can produce exceptional effluent filtration quality. as it is capable of meeting the most stringent water quality requirements. It's a modular schematic that allows for ease of expansion and configuration flexibility. Sounds fancy, but can this technology implement to Hong Kong? I will evaluate from three perspectives: the necessity, feasibility of having this technology in Hong Kong, and the effectiveness in solving the Hong Kong microplastic pollution problems. In terms of necessity, I rank it for 4 stars. This is because the microplastic pollution problem in Hong Kong has been growing rapidly. Research from Greenpeace shows that the average concentration of plastic is about 2.94 pieces per cubic meter of water in 20 locations of Hong Kong. And more than 94% of the pieces of plastic found are microplastics. Evidence suggests that the city is a hotspot of microplastic pollution. It is obvious that the microplastic problem in Hong Kong is alarming, but currently Hong Kong has no legislation or other form of initiative that can tackle this issue. The government is also unable to formulate a specific target or gradually reducing the quantity of waste plastic problem. So it's certain that the Envr technology is high necessity to Hong Kong. In terms of feasibility, I only rank it for 2 stars. It is because the Envr technology is today still more costly and energy intensive than sedimentation tanks, which limit its use to where there are space constraints, specific output requirements, or where land is expensive, which is Hong Kong. Also, in Hong Kong, out of the 2.6 million cubic meters wastewater treated in a day, 30% receive preliminary treatment, 53% receive chemical enhanced primary treatment, and 70% receive secondary treatment. From data, we can see that only a small percentage of sewage in Hong Kong has gone through secondary treatment. And so far, we have only 1 tertiary treatment plant in Hong Kong that are designed with ultrafiltration membrane, which makes the possibility for including a membrane bioreactor process in all treatment plants in Hong Kong very small. In terms of effectiveness, I rank it for 3 stars. Because if you ask me whether I think the Envr technologies can solve the microplastic problem in Hong Kong, I'll answer you yes, but not completely. This technology can minimize microplastic in wastewater after treatment, with analysis so far down to 50 micrometers. It is even found that some brand of Envr technology can totally eliminate microplastic in wastewater. So there is no doubt that the Envr technology can solve the microplastic problem, which will lead to the environment through effluents. However, we still need to be reminded that significant amounts of microplastic in Hong Kong water are blown by wind and flushed by rain into the storm water drains, after which it enters the sea via the water waves. They can't be solved by the Envr technology. Other approaches are needed. So the effectiveness in solving the microplastic problem in Hong Kong is ranked for 3 stars. After looking at Hong Kong, let's zoom out of the map and look at the technology globally. There is no doubt that this technology is a fast growing, and the confidence we have on it is increasing rapidly. The number of Envr membrane modules produced is currently increasing by 3 to 5 a year, and market itself is growing exponentially at a rate between 11.5 to 30%. The global capacity provided by Envr technology at 2019 is probably somewhere over 20 gigaliters per day, given that around 100 gigaliter per day of sewage is being generated globally, and that perhaps only half of this is treated. It can be estimated that Envr membrane technology provides around 5% of the world's sewage treatment capacity. To solve the great problems created by these small plastics, we humans still have a long way to go. But with the advancement in the Envr technology, we can look forward to a clean ocean in the future. Thank you.